The 1 of 1 is missing.
I knew something was up.
Pop, that's almost twice as much going for the same price.
I just freaking love that rated rookie logo.
Doing more buy-ins.
Which one of these 5 quarterbacks has the worst set of pass catchers to throw the football to?
Guess how much I sniped this for an auction?
Number to 5, you dirty animal.
I'm telling you, these optic on-card autos are money.
Ball cards, collecting and investing. His name is Andy. My name is Carter. All a part of the No Offseason Network. We're trying to smile through the pain. Andy's 2 favorite players get hurt last night. My dear beloved Jaden Daniels. I don't think it's as serious as what happened to Rod Godwin, our guy Chris Godwin. Real name Rod. He should have rolled with Rod. But the point is, Andy, it has been a brutal year of injuries. So we want to start, Andy, your vantage point on football cards when it comes to injuries, because it could open up some buy low opportunities for not only collectors, but guys that want to potentially flip.
Yeah, that's the only bright side to it. For real football, for my Buccaneers, it sucks, man. It really sucks. It really hurts to see Godwin go down with the ankle and Mike Evans getting his hamstring looked at today. I mean, it really sucks. But for a football card opportunity, that does open up here as we're entering this season of the midseason dip and this time period over the next month and a half where people are going to continue rolling his cards out in auction, and that's going to present opportunities for me to buy low. We'll see how far they dip, because he was number 1 in the league in receptions and number 1 in touchdowns and yards after the catch. Well, not number 1 in total touchdowns. He was number 3, but number 1 in yards after the catch. So he was actually shredding this year. So hopefully this will open up a little window to buy some more low while everybody is, primarily distracted and focused on 2024 Donruss and some of these other QBs.
Yeah, there you go. And honestly, Andy, this could be some selling opportunities as well. You see the thumbnail image with Mahomes being at the forefront. So your thoughts on sell opportunities, because we are getting ready to see this yearly November dip for a lot of guys as playoff pictures become clear and all of that.
Yeah, well, there are big sell opportunities. I look at Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, these 2017, 2018 quarterbacks that are always in an MVP race. And, right now with their teams doing really well. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, granted, he's throwing more picks than touchdowns, but yet he's still plowing guys over. They're winning games. Everything's great. And, I mean, just looking at the veteran cards for him that are selling, even 2022 Select or even a brand new 2024 Donruss, downtown Patrick Mahomes is still going to fetch a premium dollar right now. And they could lose some games here before the playoffs. Not all these guys are going to win MVP. Only one of them is, and only one of them are going to win the Super Bowl. So I look at right now as a great time to sell on elite players and also new product, Carter. There's always new product hype. There's always a new product premium baked in. Your Drake May's a perfect example. He's not winning games, but he's got a lot of new product coming out right now. And that stuff is fetching a premium dollar.
Type Y for yes, type N for no. If you are a fan of the big downtown cards. Andy, are you a fan of the large downtowns?
They're cool. And I think the coolest thing about them is that they cost a fraction of what the actual downtowns cost, and you get brand new downtowns out for Marvin Harrison Jr., I could get a downtown Jaden Daniels oversized for $75. The actual downtown of him would cost me $1,000 or more right now. So, I think from that standpoint, it's pretty cool. But then, it's not the real thing. It's almost like you're getting this knockoff kind of card that you would get from one of the custom card makers. I think they look cool to put on the wall is what I'm trying to say, but I don't necessarily think that they're going to be like this chase card at card shows and stuff like that in the future.
I do like the cheaper price point as you mentioned, and obviously they're not going to be as rare. It seems like everybody and their grandma hit one of these in the Costco cards, while the Costco sections of sports cards, and I wonder if they went and got themselves a double chunk chocolate cookie as well. For those that got that reference, I love you. But I also like the bigger downtown because it looks a little bit better. Like if I was going to put it on a desk, it's just bigger, right? And it's also a licensed product. It's not one of these bad knockoff downtown cards either, Andy.
Now that's true. That's the big difference. This is licensed with the NFL and Panini's current license that they still hold. So you got the little rookie card logo. You do got the branding on the back. You got the Commanders on there. The only other thing that I'm not a big fan of on the downtowns is I feel like a lot of the artwork is lacking. I think it lacks creativity. And a lot of times they're like, oh, what's convenient? Like what's synonymous with the Washington Commanders? As they put the Capitol building, the Lincoln Memorial. I mean, they could have done a little bit better than this, I feel.
Andy, are you kidding me?
No, I'm being dead serious.
I guess I need to look at the others. So the background here obviously is a Washington Memorial and all of that, but the background is cherry red, right? You see like that cherry red right there? Mm-hmm. That's representative of the Cherry Blossom Festival that happens every year in DC. Or at least I think that's what it's representing. I like this one. I guess I need to look at the other large downtown to do a full examination. But I'll also tell you this, Andy, because you and I push back more than people think. A lot of people have been complaining about Panini and some of these designs. So let's see what Mars looks like. The large. Okay, now that right there's a little lazy,
right? I mean, you got the guy in practice uniform. I get it. There's not a whole lot of time to really get him in the real uniform, but I mean, it's basically just a plain desert cityscape here. In Arizona. I mean, I feel like a lot of these downtowns lack creativity, and that's kind of my big look. Let's pull up the Drake May here. Once again, Carter. Look at this.
I'll concede to you that I had not seen the Drake May one yet. I like the Janeway. Could just be my bias. I'm also a Drake May fan as well, but yeah, it's a little weak, right? If we're gonna do boats, put some guys throwing some tea into the harbor here. I mean, add some history to the freaking cards.
Yeah, they're just very weak in my opinion. I thought one of the cooler ones was the Zach Wilson downtown with the cockpit of the jet and stuff. And now looking at these, Carter, I will say that the Jaden Daniels one is looking better and better.
Yeah, no.
The more of these I look at.
I have such bad Jaden tunnel vision that they're just like, yo, let's put a skyline there and a Viking
an axe.
Axe.
Yeah, what can we add that makes it people feel like we're talking about the Vikings here? So they add an old school axe.
All right, so take the image off. Take the put both of us large on here again. So someone just tuned in the Art of Randomness, and he thought you were wearing a do-rag.
No, it's just a hat. This is actually it's a medium hat, so it's a little bit tighter, so it does fit a little bit more like a do-rag.
It did look like it though. Oh my god, that is actually hilarious. But let us know if you like the large downtowns. But Andy, we normally don't dive into product this early, but Donruss overall is just out. What's your overall reaction now that we've got full week-ish of Donruss being out on the market?
Yeah, my overall reaction, there's a lot of cards in here that are very flippable. They've expanded the number of inserts. They've expanded the number and type of cards that they put in the set. So as you can see, optic previews are heavily in this set. You've got the rookies, which are a card that literally dropped to bare bones minimum prices, just $1 or $2, down the road. They do have a nice like foil kind of Pandora, I guess you would call it X-Fractor design to it, mosaic design to it. And so those are pretty popular right now, as you can see with the Bo Nix Raw selling for $10. Like throwback threads here. You've got DeMarcus Ware in the card, a relic card, which it doesn't really do a whole lot, but basically just brings more attention to the set. As they've got a ton of different inserts, and of course, the guys that literally just ravaged Costco of all their boxes. Of course, I couldn't find any at my Costco. Those are selling for about $85 a piece. If you were to add it up, like do the math on this sold listing of a lot of 8 of those selling for $680. So that's a big market as well.
I feel like for me, anecdotally, it's been an overall warm reception. Obviously, put this on the screen here, Andy. Do you like the look of these red kind of Pandora downtown? I guess that's a decent rated rookie design. Let me know what you think, Andy.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Pandora design because it looks even better in person. Like when you hold it in your hand, it's got a little bit of that holographic feel. I like cards that you can, kind of turn back and forth, and they look different as you move it around, kind of like the cracked ice look or the Pandora look, the wave prisms. I like those designs because they kind of have a different reflection, a little bit different of refractor type look depending on how you look at it, and that's cool to me. That's appealing because I like to put those kind of cards on my wall on display. And I like the rated rookie design this year overall in terms of optic right here, because I like the old school little football in the bottom left, the way they did the name in the bottom. It kind of has like an old school feel. They didn't try and go some fancy 3D depth type of look. They really went old school with the labeling at the bottom, and yet you still have the chrome optic finish and the rated rookie logo in the top left. I actually like this design.
I do too. Let's go to Bill Gober. Andy, this is something that I've done just anecdotally with my football card buying experience. And once again, I do like the fact that this card that Bill's talking about is a numbered card, and that it's also gold, and that it is also numbered out of 25. But Andy, what I don't like are the words press proof. I don't know why press proof has just never really done it for me. I mean, it just feels so inserty, if that makes sense. So yeah, I guess gold, anything numbered is good, but press proof, I don't even know if I've even seen this card yet, but anytime I see press proof, I just kind of cringe.
Yeah, they do fine. They do fine right now, but they will lose value over time, especially when you combine the fact that it's a die cut. It's just not going to hold the same value as the gold prisms, the gold, optic parallels. Any type of chrome gold card is going to do a lot better. When they change this, now if it was out of 10, that'd be even better, right? Make it the true gold serial numbering like you do from the premium sets of Prism and Optic. But they don't do that. They number it out of 50. They dilute it a little bit. Plus, then you make it a die cut, and those just don't get the same value. The only place I see those holding long-term really good value on the most elite players, and obviously graded highly. And then guys that just aren't printed in a lot of other sets that only got like that card plus a few others. So, ultimately I'd be looking to flip these guys immediately. Like even Jaden, even Caleb Williams, these guys, I'd be looking to flip them in those cards almost immediately here and capturing on this new set hype and the new hype of Donruss.
One thing I will say though is like I don't see any of these listed. Like I just searched eBay 2024 press-proof die cut. So I guess it's rare. I literally could not find one. So send me a photo of what you have, Bill, in the Discord. But Bill says I agree, and I agree. I shoot for and only hold 10s. Yeah, number to 10 gold is what I aim for as well. So there you go. We welcome in Pick Six Cards, Chad, all those guys. Christian Rodriguez, who's new to the channel, he says, "What about a Chiefs Mahomes patch cards?" Yeah, Christian, those always go well. I don't know which one you're talking about. But there you go. Andy, I wanted to get into this if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I look at the NFL picture as a whole, and I'm trying to find that team that is kind of in the middle of everything, but could make a strong playoff push. Is anyone in that 2-3, 2-4 range, or at 500, a 3-3 team like the Chargers? Do any of those teams interest you at this point?
Man, this is tough. This is a really tough question because I think there's a lot of teams now that are starting to claw their way back here, and you know, it's very interesting. Like the Cowboys and the 49ers are, I think, a couple prime examples of teams that could claw their way back, but both of them have significant weaknesses at this point in the season, struggle with injuries. They're the 49ers. And they're playing Sunday Night Football here against the Cowboys, so this will be interesting to see what happens. I don't think at this point there's any hope for like the Raiders, the Panthers. I think they're pretty much toast. You know, the Chargers are an interesting one, but when you're in the division with the Chiefs, I mean, and then you look at the rest of the AFC, I just feel like they're going to be the odd man out, maybe a wild card spot, but they're you know, they're struggling, like just costly. I mean, they had costly drops, a costly fumble at the goal line that really cost them a game. And when you're only kicking field goals, I mean, this is just not a winning strategy. You know, they've got to get a little bit more explosive on offense, but I get it. Justin Herbert had his highest passing yardage of the season this past week, but yet it didn't throw any touchdowns because his receivers are dropping the ball. I mean, if there was a situation, if by chance Devontae Adams wants to switch teams again, maybe he goes to the Chargers. I don't know. I'm just joking. But yeah, they need some help there for sure. I mean, but it's really tough to pick. Like, are the Jags actually going to dig their way out of a hole? I doubt it, man. I really do doubt it.
Yeah, Christian, I would move anything Devontae Adams, but that ship might have already been sailed. One team I'm interested in, and this stat, I always like to look for stats before coming on with you, Andy, is the Dolphins, right? We might get Tua back, and I've been labeled the Tua hater on here. Andy, they have scored 70 points total this year. Remember last year when they had 70 points in a single game? The Miami Dolphins have scored only 70 points. Andy, every other NFL team has scored at least 99. And the Dolphins are sitting there with 70 total points on the season. Okay. If Tua comes back and he lights it up, I mean, that and this was going to be my play of the week. This would be the time to move him. I just do not trust him. And honestly, Andy, I think Mike McDaniel has shown some major holes as a coach. With having this offense play this badly without Tua, it's not a good message to me or to the organization that you work for. Hey, the 17th best quarterback in the NFL, if he goes down, I suck. And I suck with a top 5 running back. I suck with the best wide receiver duo maybe in the entire NFL. So I have become a lot more fractured on Mike McDaniel as well. So I bring up the Dolphins as one of these middle-range teams because if Tua comes back and just lights it up, this might be your last chance, right, to move.
I definitely think the Dolphins are pretty much done for this season. Tua, his prices have fallen off a cliff, Carter. I don't
Right.
think even if he comes back and lights it up, they go up enough for people that bought in before the season to make money. I think your better sell opportunity. I think you're stuck holding Tua at this point and hoping that the Dolphins claw their way back, or maybe Tua, resumes and he finishes the season strong, and then all of a sudden there's hype for him in the offseason. And maybe they make some changes there. But Carter, I mean, his rookie ticket autos have fallen off a cliff. Tyreek Hill's stuff is a lot more expensive than his. Like, look at, for example, rookie ticket auto numbered out of 20, the throwback ticket to 2000. This ticket is iconic because of Tom Brady. Well, here it is in an SGC 9 that closed for $306 just 3 days ago. And in fact, there's one ending tonight that's raw, that looks beautiful. That's only at $190 right now. That was previously $1,000 plus card. I mean, it's numbered out of 20. It's an iconic rookie ticket auto. And then you've got a Tyreek Hill rookie ticket auto out of 99 PSA 10 that sold for $750 and a buy it now 4 days ago before Sunday. So you look at the prices of Tyreek Hill's rookie autos, and I'm like, that's clearly in the sell category because of how much those are still going for. And there's fairly limited supply. But Tua, his prices have really just fallen off a cliff here, man. They've gotten really, really cheap. I mean, these PSA 9 rookie ticket autos, I mean, now we're now talking, this is, a $600 card for Jordan Love and $1,000, probably close to like $1,500 for Joe Burrow, and around that $1,000 mark, or between $600 and $1,000 for Justin Herbert and stuff. So, I mean, he's really fallen down a lot.
All right, so I get called out in the chat right here, Andy, and I love when I get called out for some of my moves. My guy Annoy's coming at me. He says, at Card of the Power should have kept that Colston Gold Prism 2012. That set is rising in price. Andy, now, I like it when people call me out. I love it. Okay. I normally when I sell a card, Andy, I kind of put it in the rear view because you can really damage your mental health if you go back and you're like, damn, I feel bad for the guy that sold the Giannis logo man for like $3,000 or whatever. I mean, you feel bad for those people, but I full disclosure, I like Annoy. I do, right? And he might be right, Andy. $5,000 for Kirk Cousins, gold number to 10. And the thing that I saw, Andy, was the gold number to 10 for, who was this? Donald Brown. Andy, do you remember Donald? Do you even remember what team Donald Brown played for, Andy?
Donald Brown? Dude, I honestly cannot. I would not be able to answer that question right now, even if you put a gun to my head. Yeah. I don't remember. So
Donald Brown sold for $511. He was a running back for the Colts. And my Marcus Colston, I sold for, I think $425 was the final price. It was somewhere around there. And I bought the Marcus Colston gold number to 10 Prism for $10 at a card shop in Louisiana. I still couldn't believe I got that deal. But Donald Brown, Andy, Donald Brown just went for $511.
Was he like an offensive lineman?
No, it was a running back.
Oh,
it was a running back. Okay. Gold number to 10, Andy. It just adds to it. So, Annoy, I'm glad you brought it up. I'm not mad at you for bringing it up. But yeah, I didn't want to sell the Marcus Colston card. I did not want to sell it. But when someone offers you $400 cash for a card you paid $10 for, it's just hard to not take it. But Andy, do you ever go back and buy rare stuff from like famous sets like 2012 Prism?
I should, man. I would say I have in the past, but not consistently. and I'm more gravitate towards the newer stuff and just the more fantasy relevant players. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these cards really beautiful. I like the 2012 Prism set, and I am very surprised right now at the prices of these cards. Like this Alfred Morris, man, this Alfred Morris Gold BGS 95, $580.
But how did that sell for more than RG3? That's the crazy thing about that. Like they ended at, well, they didn't end at the same time. So what was August? This might be a good example to bring up about time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what time the auction ended, but August 20th was a Tuesday, Andy, and the Alfred Morris, I think, said 23. That was a Friday. That's still crazy, though, that an Alfred Morris would sell for more than an RG3.
So the RG3 ended at 1:45 Pacific time. So what that would have been 10:45 a.m. Eastern time.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's a terrible ending time. And then let's look at the Alfred Morris. See, that's a terrible 10:45 a.m. And we'd have to look up like what date was August 20th. If we go back, it was a Tuesday. So Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. is a terrible time to end an auction. Like in the preseason, there's no relevancy there other than maybe RG3 had a tweet go viral about.
No, he got fired.
Oh, was that when he got fired?
I would guess. I think that was around the time. Okay, so what time did the Alfred Morris end?
All right, let's see. Currently sold out. Oh, what? This is weird. It's not.
Wait, why isn't it?
Yeah, why is it not giving me the let me click on it again. Huh.
Wow.
It's taking me to a really weird page that doesn't give me any information.
So if someone can, I don't want to look this up myself because I want to get on to the next topic. Can someone see if this is happening to you as well and get us a time, what time the Alfred Morris? But this is a good example of never ending an auction at 10 a.m. because the Santana Moss buy now goes for $549. So there's the Donald Brown transaction.
There he is, Donald Brown, $511, October 13th. We're just talking about 10 days ago.
Yeah.
So, I got that same page, though, which is strange.
So the Marcus Colston buyer feels pretty good about himself from me, right?
Yeah.
He got mine for, I think, $400. And yeah, I was obviously happy with the transaction. So there you go. But we'll get back into some modern stuff. But that's another example of knowing not only when to sell in terms of what time of the year you're selling, but also what time of the day and what day you're actually selling. And if all else fails, Sunday night, 7 p.m. Central, it's always a good time to start your auction, or 8 p.m. Central is what I normally do. And T-Foul makes a good point. While that people don't understand, people PC random players are not necessarily good players. Now, I'm with you, T-Foul. I mean, there's plenty of people out there that just PC random dudes. It's just crazy that the Donald Brown one went for that much. It was more so me saying that obviously Marcus Colston's a better player than Donald Brown. So that was more annoying noise point that he told me that I should have kept on to it. And he's right. He's probably right. So there you go. Now, Andy, I'll let you pick the next topic because I always pick the topic. So anything that you wanted to get into before we get into hobby tip of the week?
Yeah, I was really interested to do a deep examination on Jared Goff's prices this week after, I mean, he pretty much stole the headlines, taking down one of the last undefeated teams on Sunday in the Minnesota Vikings. I know Chad's licking his injuries from that one there in Minnesota. And I was looking at the Jared Goff pricings, and however they have been selling, and some of his autos are now like they're fetching a pretty decent price. Like cool. This one right here is, it's a cracked ice rookie ticket auto out of 24 BGS 9. $868. This is a 2016 product. Now, remember, Carter, we were just looking at Tua's 2020 cracked ice rookie ticket auto sales, and there was a cracked ice rookie ticket auto sale that was still, I think, higher than this not too long ago, just like a week or two ago, because the card is very rare. Cracked ice is one of the most popular, serial numbered short print cards in the set. And so I was like looking, okay, so that's a high-end Jared Goff card. We've got a Purple Scope Prism rookie auto that sold for $820 in a buy it now. That's pretty good. But then we have the raw Prism Silver selling for $40. And we talk about Derrick Henry. Obviously, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson are on this MVP run, and they gobbled up the Bucks last night. And Derrick Henry's raw silver prism sells for about $80 raw. And here we have the Jared Goff still at 40. So I'm wondering what's it going to take for people to jump on this Jared Goff bandwagon in a bigger fashion here, to where his silver prism rookie autos, get to that probably $100 raw price point and like $400 PSA 10 for the prism, and his rookie autos then get 1,000 plus. I think it's only a matter of time. I think there's still upside. But to me, it's like one of the most fascinating storylines in the hobby, because there's such a difference between veteran quarterbacks, even though he's leading this incredible charge here and playing so good for the Lions, and rookie quarterbacks that aren't even necessarily winning games, but yet fetching higher prices just because they're rookies and they play for a big market. And there's a lot of that fear of missing out on the next what could be superstar player.
Yeah, the funny thing about the Quest is we've always had some golf buyers. Hector's been on this for a while. Rain Strike also reveals that he is a golf guy as well. And his stuff just doesn't go up. Some guys just don't have that buzz about them. And I think part of it, Andy, is Jared Goff is just kind of limited. Like, he doesn't have this ridiculous arm. You don't really see these highlight kind of plays. But if you actually know ball, you'll see that some of the things he does is absolutely positively ridiculous. And I still randomly think about the Jameson Williams touchdown he threw versus the Seahawks, where I have never seen an in-breaker thrown with that much anticipation. And the guy is just so well-tuned with this Ben Johnson offense that, you don't really see a whole lot of these play-extending plays. Obviously, he doesn't run. He doesn't have, like, just this cannon. But to me, he is very fun to watch. To me, the Lions are the funnest watch in the league, not only from, a player perspective and a coaching perspective. It's just, some guys just don't go up, which is crazy because he's a former number 1 overall pick from the Cali market, and he's been in the Super Bowl, Andy.
Yeah, I know it's really, and I do agree here with who said that was a playoff run is going to do it. Yeah, Rain Strike. I think a playoff run will do it. I think so too. The Super Bowl, a playoff run. I think that's what's really going to do it. I think that's when we'll really start to see the ramp up in Goff's price, especially if he continues to play the way that he has. It's got to happen because we do have a limited supply from 2016. I just thought it would happen sooner, but it just goes to show you how hesitant people are to buy into more veteran players at this point in the season. They're just really fixated on what the rookies are not, I'm speaking generally here, right? A lot of us obviously have been on Goff, like you said, and a lot of people are on these veteran players that they know have the experience to make a deep playoff run. So they're go ahead and they're making their bets now, while a lot of people are distracted by rookies and new products.
Right. And some people are calling him the Tim Duncan of quarterbacks. I mean, that does slightly apply, but to even add on to it, Goff just isn't even on Duncan's level, if that makes sense, right? Duncan's like top 15 player of all time. Jared Goff, not a top 15 quarterback of the past 20 years. So, yeah, I mean, I would have thought his stuff would have gone up a little bit more. I'm with Hector and Rain, but it is very, very, very strange. Now, if they put Jared Goff's significant other on the cards, They would move because his significant other is a big supporter of the Detroit Lions. But our guy Jahmyr Gibbs is the guy. I mean, look at all these sales for the same car. That's weird.
Yeah, a lot of them. What I've done here is I've sorted by price plus shipping highest first, and you see there's the same seller. So I'm guessing what happened was there's a person that wasn't paying for their buy it nows after, being accepted. So you had multiple listings go up, or the same. I should say the same listing go up multiple times. So what I'm trying to filter down is see the percentage of his largest sales in the past 90 days, what that percentage was in the past few days from his spike this past weekend. I mean, that was basically the game of the week when you look at it, and also gives you an idea of what are his biggest cards selling right now. And they're almost exclusively downtowns. I mean, I saw one Kaboom there, a gold Kaboom for 3,258, but then you have a lot of gold downtowns hanging right there with it the same day, 3,250, which is pretty interesting. I would think that the Kaboom would have a little bit bigger difference.
Yeah, me too. Gibbs is good, man. He's so freaking good. I would stay away from buying him, though. This would be the absolute worst time to buy some Jahmyr Gibbs. Now, I will say, Andy, you did call it. Like, you said there should be no gap between Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson in the pre-draft process. People can go back and look that up. I remember that one of your better calls, and that was before you went 12th overall. So give you a lot of credit on that. But yeah, this could be a pretty nice sell opportunity right now with Jahmyr Gibbs being, the guy this past week. And he had that viral Sonic the Hedgehog edit. I don't know if you saw that or not, Andy. Oh, it was insane. Abso-freaking-lutely insane. Hector says, I learned my lesson with all my DeAndre Swift investments. I agree. The only thing I would say about that, though, is Gibbs is better than Swift. So I get the point, but there you go.
What's the speaking of these young players, Brian Thomas Jr. And a lot of people are like, yeah, but he plays for the Jags, and they got Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis, and the Jags had Trevor Lawrence questions early on, but right now Brian Thomas Jr. I'm looking at a tweet here. Carter, tell me if this is true. He's the first player with 500 plus receiving yards on 30 or fewer receptions through 7 career games since Randy Moss in 1998.
It's insane. I'll tell you this, Andy, and I thought BTJ was going to be a very good pro. I thought it was going to take him year 2, though, and it did not take him year 2. It is a year 1 thing, averaging 13 fantasy points per game. He's just a monster. He's special. And those numbers should actually be better. He's had a few bad drops, but honestly, Trevor's missed him quite a bit. So it's not just, the numbers, it's the film has even looked better. So it's crazy. I wish for giveaways last year, Andy, I was giving out Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. cards when people bought one of my T-shirts for $40. And I'll throw in an auto just for it. And now I'm regretting that. Huh? And I understand they were just like Leaf autos or whatever. I wish I still had them.
But this goes back to what I was telling people before the season, that regardless of the Jags being in a tough division, and if they were going to, be losing games, Brian Thomas Jr. as a rookie and just from a performance standpoint should be worth the same as Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison Jr. And now here we are 7 weeks into the season, and Brian Thomas Jr. among rookie wide receivers is first in touchdowns, first in yards per route run, first in yards after the catch, first in total yards, and second in receptions.
So you're pointing out the discrepancy.
the discrepancy and the fact that like when you're prospecting on wide receivers before the season, you shouldn't go based on the like the team and the division they're in. You should just invest in the talent. Like, I think you've got to ask yourself, what would this guy's cards be valued at if he had Patrick Mahomes as his quarterback? And if the answer is he'd be valued 5 times higher than what he currently is, then you've got a lot of room of upside. You've got a lot of reason to buy into that player. The same reason that you bought Xavier Worthy when he was drafted by the Chiefs is the same reason why you buy Brian Thomas Jr., even though he's drafted by the Jaguars.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Yeah, I'm on the BTJ train as well. But honestly, you're right. Andy, if you really do think BTJ is a real deal, which I do, there shouldn't be a discrepancy. But then again, you do factor in he's on the Jaguars, Malik Neighbors and Marvin Harrison had all this hype. But BTJ is better than Marvin Harrison. I'm there. Now we get to hobby tip of the week. Andy?
Yeah. I'm bummed out about this one because it was like right after we made this announcement on the stream last Tuesday, Fanatics Collect made an announcement that they were canceling their Orlando card show on November 1st to the 3rd. And it's unfortunate. I honestly, I don't know the validity. I'm a much closer to where the hurricane hit. And yeah, there's a lot of downed trees. There were some houses that flooded, some areas that got some decent damage. I don't think Orlando got really hit that bad. I've not been to Orlando since then, so I can't really speak on it too much. But yeah, I'm surprised that they canceled it and they moved it to early 2025. I think maybe what happened is that their ticket sales to this point weren't as good as they'd hoped, and maybe they thought it was due to a lot of the hurricanes in the region, so they moved it back. But either way, whatever happened, that's what they're saying. It's due to all the hurricanes. They want to respect all the the issues in the region, so they're moving it back to early 2025. Unfortunately, guys.
Oh, Andy, you had a lot of people coming to meet you at this.
I'm bummed, man. I'm bummed. Yeah.
Now we get to my hobby tip of the week. I was actually just jealous that you were going. Andy, I want everyone to take a look at this right here. All right. What are these called, Andy?
Are those forever stamps?
They're just stamps. I don't know what forever stamps are. So what I do is I buy stamps, and a book of stamps, the price of it have gone up, but they come out to roughly 50, 60 cents per stamp. And Andy, what I do is I just get a plain paper white envelope. All right. Put a card, and I'm doing this today with the Travis Kelce card right here. Obviously a meaningless Travis Kelce cardboard paper insert. Put in a penny sleeve, and I just put it in there, put one stamp on it, and I send them out. All right, just cards that sit around, and it is amazing. Yeah, I mean, if you do 20 of them, that's $10, whatever. I made 20 people's days. I made 20 people's day for 10-ish, $15, whatever it is. And of course, you got to write it down. Of course, you got to put in a penny sleeve or whatever. But you don't, Andy, have to send those cards to people who actually even care about cards. You don't have to, and I understand there's a little more value in it because I'm sending it to YouTube subscribers who, care for the content and all that stuff. But I would just say, even if you're just a person that consumes, or you're just a fan of football cards, put one card in a penny sleeve. It's more than likely, Andy, is not going to get just completely damaged, and send it to someone that's not a fan of football cards. And they're going to appreciate it. Or if my friends that have kids, I'll be like, hey, this is for Teddy. Okay. And my friend will send a photo or a video of the kid opening the card, made their day for 50 plus cents. Okay. Now I understand we're the investing flippers who want to make you money, but there is value in that. So, Andy, are you going to flame me for not putting in a loader, putting in a freaking bubble mailer for cheap 50-cent insert cards?
Wait, you don't put the card in the top loader?
Not if I'm just randomly sending it to somebody, no.
What about at least a semi-rigid?
Sometimes I do, yeah. Sometimes I do.
I'm gonna send you a box of semi-rigid. I think you should at least put it in a semi-rigid.
Okay.
You know, when you get a card in a semi-rigid, it just feels like, man, this is professional. Like I could just send this to PSA or CGC right now and get it graded.
Right. But while you are correct, that's not who I'm sending it to. I'm just sending it to and I'm sending like the cards that just sit around on my desk. But to your point, sometimes I'll just leave it in the semi-rigid, and one stamp, it works. It works. So I highly recommend people do that. All right, send it to some like long time friend or whatever. And a lot of times they think it's a little bit more like valuable than if you send them, hey, $10 Venmo, I want to treat you to lunch or whatever. But Andy, more often than not, I am sending it to one of my friends' kids. Right, one is a huge Deebo Samuel fan, so if I ever have like a Deebo card hanging around, I just immediately send it. So
I think that's really cool because this is the biggest thing. Kids don't ever get anything in the mail. You know, most kids don't ever get anything in the mail. So when they do get something, it's like they're in awe, you know, and it's a huge deal. And it's something that they're going to be like treasuring, you know. So I do think that's really, and you know, you don't have to go through any hoops. You could throw it right in your mailbox with a stamp.
Let's go to Hector. He throws in a hobby tip: buy a mail scale and never overpay for shipping again.
Well, and that's a great idea because, you know, you could use pirateship.com. It always makes more sense to put in the accurate dimensions and weight because, you know, you'll get your best deal on shipping. You don't want to pay for a 2-pound package if your package is only 10 ounces, you know? So, I mean, you don't even have to use a mail scale. You could use a food scale if you want, and they're really cheap. And just to get an idea of what your package weighs.
All right, Andy, it's time for play of the week.
Play of the week, man. So a lot of injuries to attack right now. You could also, I think there's a lot of players. Like I'm currently looking at Brock Bowers' rookie market right now because only 6 tight ends have averaged 35 plus yards after the catch per game in a season since 2010. And that is Travis Kelce, Rob Gronkowski, George Kittle, Darren Waller, Njoku, and Aaron Hernandez. And Brock Bowers is currently averaging 35.9 yards after the catch. He's the only bright spot really right now on the Raiders. He's absolutely dominating the tight end category, a position in which it's really hard to, it's really hard to reach that elite consistent status. And I'm looking at these initial sales from Brock Bowers in 2024 Donruss, and I think he's experiencing some suppressed prices here due to just the lack of Raiders performance. And I think you can actually attack these and buy at a decent value here. Like the Brock Bowers oversized at 25, man. It only got 2 bids. You know, it's not showing a whole lot of interest. Something out of 875 here. This Donruss Elite Explosion in Raiders uniform, a rookie card logo and everything, $12. You know, took a little bit of a discount. But right now on more elite players like Brian Thomas Jr., for perfect example, he's on a losing team. You know, he's also playing really well. This card is going to be about twice as much for him. So I'm seeing Brock Bowers here at a value compared to Brian Thomas Jr., and I think that makes him a total play right now.
You know, one guy who's been high, and I would love your opinion on it. And by the way, I'm a big Bowers guy, as you know, Andy, being an SEC guy. Tucker Kraft stuff has gotten to be kind of up there, right? He's going to have limited supply because, you know, he was the second tight end selected in his Green Bay Packers draft class behind Musgrave. But Andy, rookie autos, $80, rookie signatures for certified, right? 37 out of 50. I'm looking at it right now. I was just curious your thoughts on Tucker Kraft, and the dude's market is pretty high for a tight end.
Yeah, that's really high. He also has a limited supply of rookie cards, so that is an effect of the lack of supply for him. So it's easier for the prices to get higher, quicker. So that's something that I take into consideration there on him. And it looks like he's becoming more of like a flip right now. But it is interesting to see those rookie autos are currently selling for.
And it's amazing how many good receivers are big time buy low candidates over the next couple of weeks. Brandon Ayuk's been your guy. He's out for the rest of the season. Let me ask you this before I get my play of the week. Who is a wide receiver that is way under I wouldn't say under the radar, but one of these hurt out for the year wide receivers that you might be targeting when their prices really start to dip here over the next couple of weeks?
Well, I definitely going to be looking for some Chris Godwin cards to kind of add to my collection here, but there's a lot of personal collection value there for me. So I don't know. I would love to see the dip get bigger on DK Metcalf because I feel that he's a really strong dynasty asset, strong guy just to hold long term. So that's someone that I'm very interested in as well. And obviously at some point Rashee Rice is going to come back, and maybe he might miss half of next year, like if the suspension actually goes through, right? And so he could miss for a long time, but eventually he comes back. And if the Chiefs don't pick up another wide receiver in free agency or the draft, or even like he really, made himself a dominant player on the team. So I think that when he does come back, there'll be a lot of hype return. So he would be somebody interesting to buy into low while he's out here over the next few months.
All right, my play of the week, Andy, is a guy that was featured more in this game versus the Panthers, and I'm starting to wonder if this is potentially like a load management thing because it was, a blowout so quickly. But Dami Brown, the Commanders, has a role in this offense, right, with a very ambiguous wide receiver 2 kind of room situation, right? Terry McLaurin, of course, is a clear-cut guy, and he's playing at a high level. But the guys Dami Brown are competing against is rookie Luke McCaffrey, who's looked pretty solid up to this point. Jaden's missed him on a couple of big ones. And then, of course, Noah Brown, who is just a good football player. I mean, there's just no other way around it. Noah Brown, we saw what he did last year with C.J. Stroud, and we're seeing what he's done. And that Jahan Dotson trade looks like an absolute genius move by the Commanders to bring in Noah Brown. But Dami Brown looked really, really, really good on tape. Now, once again, this was just the Panthers, but he was doing this with Marcus Mariota at quarterback. And Dami Brown's rookies autos just a few days ago were $1, $3, $5 out the door. So that is the lowest of low. I like to find these deep cut guys when I research for that next dude. I'm not telling you Dami Brown's going to be fantastic, but Andy, is this another Paris Campbell move for me, or do you think there's some potential move for Dami?
Ah, man, it feels like a Paris Campbell move, but I do think with Jaden there, it's a flip opportunity for sure.
All right. Brain Strike says, I have a lot of Tua. I wouldn't mind moving right now. Yeah, we touched on the Tua situation. I would be very, very interested in moving my Tua collection if I had one right now, Andy.
Yeah, I still think you gotta hold on unless the price is right. But yeah, I mean, if you can get the price, if the price is right, then take it.
And that's pretty much it for me. I always say this: the first person that signs up for the Football Card Patreon, I pay for your first month. So if you go sign up right now, I got your first month covered. Go to patreon.com/footballcards, or just go to the nooffseason.com, go to Andy's page and click let me upgrade you. and I will get your first month. Andy, is there any question, comment, or anything you wanted to get into before we skedat that here?
Almost forgot to let everybody know that CGC 10 out of 10 day is back. They're running specials through the end of the month. This is a big deal for them. They're highlighting special deals on all their different criteria, whether it's home videos, video games, comics, TCG, sports cards. So what they've done is they've lowered the minimum amount of cards you can submit. So you can now do a 10 card submission and qualify for bulk. That means the fee per card to get it graded is only $10 per card. It's 25 working day turnaround time, and the max valued per card is $500. And so that's the most recent comp you can find on the raw card or what you paid for it. And so their economy up to $1,000 declared value, only $13 per card, 25-day turnaround time. It's really hard to beat these offerings. And if you follow them on social media, they're doing all kinds of giveaways. So you can go follow CGC Cards on Twitter, on Instagram, and they're doing all kinds of giveaways for the rest of the month.
There you go. Shout out to CGC. What a day. What a show. His name is Andy. My name is Carter. Andy, it's so good. Because I kind of want to hurry up and end this because it's kind of been in the back of my mind. First time in 4 shows. No camera fails.
That's really impressive, man. We'll see if Dorian Thompson-Robinson fails this weekend. One last highlight. Sell your DTR cards, please, before he plays this weekend. People are buying him like he's the next Lamar Jackson, and we've seen him fall on his face in 3-4 different occasions now in regular NFL season. Carter, you watched the film. Is DTR? Should people sell DTR? Should they hold him and think that he's going to take the Browns to the promised land here?
You know what? I actually liked him a little bit more in the pre-draft process. So most had him just like out the league. Like he's a good clipboard holder, but the best case scenario is you're getting like PJ Walker, Chase Daniel, maybe Tyrod Taylor, like that kind of player. But yeah, you should definitely consider moving.
There you go.
All right, y'all.
No freezes, baby.
Do-rag.
I got my tech issues taken care of, Carter. I could put some cards on the wall.
There you go. Do-rag Andy out. My name is Carter. We'll talk to you soon. Let's go.
We out. Peace.